What's going on, everyone? I wanted to record a little intro to this episode just to kind of talk about some things. I just finished a workout, and if you're watching the video, you can tell because I'm mildly unshaven and sweaty as all get out. But during the workout, I just thought about some things, and I wanted to kind of put them out there just to give people a heads up on as far as like where Holly and I are coming from with these episodes. For Holly and I feel like this is seriously a matter of life or death. And every episode that we get across, like, yes, we definitely have fun with these episodes. And anybody that knows me, that knows Andy through and through from, I'm 43, but anybody that's known me in my 20s and 30s that happens to watch these, they probably expect the more goofy, lighthearted, fun version of me. And that definitely, I try to let that shine through sometimes. I definitely try to like contain the goofiness to a certain extent because I just feel like I'm kind of growing up and maturing. But I feel like some people who watch this that know me from the past expect that version of me, and they almost expect it to be like a comedy. And it's like, no, this is real talk. This is where Holly and I are coming from. And like, we will have fun in the episodes, and we will put out good vibes. I mean, Jesus, that's what we're all about, is happiness and joy and bliss and being healthier and all that. But when I say that the episodes you're about to listen to, that's where I'm coming from with this, because sometimes I can get a little too serious. And this is, I won't give any details away, but these come from the heart, and to me, they are a matter of life and death. And I know to Holly, they are a matter of life and death, because this is like what we're trying to do as a couple is give everything that we've learned in the past, that we're learning now, and that we will learn in the future about being healthier as individuals, about being happier as individuals, about being, having a great relationship, like all of these things that we employ every single day, every single week. We want to give those things back, and we want to over time create a community of people that we're helping, that we're impacting, that we're touching. Because to me, it goes back to the very first person that I ever helped lose weight. When I saw the look in that person's eyes, knowing that I helped them lose like over 60 pounds, and how this person that I knew as, to kind of be a hard ass, like almost have tears in his eyes from me helping him. And then every other person along the way, when they come in and they like, hey, I lost 5 pounds this week, they're just beaming from ear to ear. Or people that I help, like when I'm talking to them, and it's Holly talked about in previous episodes, the phone calls that I have to do where people are then just beating themselves up. And I'm trying to get across to them, like, you don't have to beat yourself up. Like, celebrate the things that you're doing and understand this is a long-term thing, right? So we're trying to build a community, and I don't know, fan base is the wrong word, because we're not celebrities. We're not looking for celebrities. We're just looking to make a difference in this damn world. We're looking to make a difference to help people live healthier, happier lives. And, I know right now in my head, I can hear some of my friends like, snarky comments or like, oh, it's nice and touchy-feely bullshit. But like, it's so much more than that. It is a matter of life and death. And if you're an individual that's listening to this and your health and happiness are spot on, then it's probably not for you. But if you're listening to this and these episodes touch you, and these episodes help you realize some things, and these episodes help you be happier and healthier and move along, and progress, then you're the one I'm talking to. All of these things are super important to us, because I know that there are other Andys out there. I know that there are other people who are trying to get things together, and they just feel like something's wrong with them, and they have anxiety, and they're having depression, and maybe they're medicating with drugs and alcohol the same way I did for 20 years, right? Holly knows that there are other Hollys out there who are like afraid to eat lunch in the cafeteria, so they take their food and go into the stall of the bathroom and eat by themselves, right? Or they put on 90-something pounds and they feel like an outcast in their entire family. I know, and she knows, that other people like that are out there, and we want to help them. We want to, if you're one of those people, you are someone that we want to help. I mean, I've even had clients ask me in the past, like, I just need you to not care so much, because I'm trying to hold them accountable to the things that they aren't holding themselves accountable to, right? But then they would complain about, hey, I haven't lost any weight. Well, it's like, well, shit, you're doing these things that don't help you, and the little bit that you're doing that is helping you is just getting drowned out by all the other things. Well, I just need you to not care so much, because that would make it a lot easier on me. Sorry, that's not my MO. My MO is to care. My MO is to help you. My MO is to get you above and beyond yourself. So, because I've done that for myself. So that's where these episodes come from. That's all I had. I wanted to get some things out there and explain to people, like, this is legitimately, to me, a matter of life and death. It's Holly and I trying to build a better life. It's trying to help other people in the world realize that, like, we're just accepting less from ourselves. We're setting the standard too low. And between COVID and all of the social media and the politicizing of masks and vaccines and all of this shit, it's like, it's so easy for an individual to get lost amongst all of that. So my goal here is essentially to help you find yourself and help you find a healthier place to be, and help you understand that, like, this can be done in a simpler, more effective way. At the end of the day, I look at it like this. We all are here living a life, right? We've all got our own lives, and no one is going to come along and tell you whether you're living that life right or wrong. And if they do tell you that you're living it right or wrong, then they probably don't know what the hell they're talking about, and tell them to piss off. But if you are living a life where you want something more out of it, and you know you're capable of it, but you're just not sure why you're not getting it, or it's information overload, or you just need guidance to get that more out of yourself, to figure out how to raise that standard for yourself, to figure out how to, again, just be a little bit healthier and a little bit happier, right? Or maybe a lot healthier and a lot happier. If that's where you're at, then we're the channel for you. Like, that's what I'm aiming at. Is I want to surround ourselves. Holly and I, we have, like, no social life because it's me and her. We don't know a lot of other people personally who are really driving to get the absolute most out of life. Like, when I am on my deathbed, I want to know that I wrang the shit out of life. I got every little last drop out of it. And that's why we do all that we do, because there's a lot of cool stuff in the world, and I want to be around for a long time to see all the different artwork and all the different locations and meet all the people and smell the smells and see the sights, like, read the books. I'm fascinated by all that. If you fall into that same thing, if you love life and if you want more of it, then that's who I'm aiming at. You are the individuals that I'm looking for. So with all that, like I said, matter of life and death, and it's up to you how you live, and yeah, so that's all I got. With that, enjoy the episode. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next episode. Enjoy. What is going on, everyone? So today we wanted to do a little something different. We're actually going to start doing kind of like some shorter little knowledge bombs, and the title for these types of episodes they're in a work in progress right now. We're thinking healthy snacks or fit snacks or nutrient bits or nutrient nuggets. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But today, specifically, I wanted to talk about, yesterday I had gone to the grocery store, and on my way out, I saw a former client and a current friend, and he asked me where we were training at now, like where Holly and I are working at right now. And I told him, I haven't been back in the gym pretty much since things shut down. I went back for a month or two. It just didn't feel right. So I told him, we've been training out of home, out of our home, and, of course, doing the online coaching and consulting and all that stuff. And more to the point, he said he hasn't been back to the gym since they closed in, I think it was March or April of 2020. I think he left that gym and then went to Planet Fitness briefly, but he said even that he's not doing either one of those. So he hasn't been in a gym for over, a year and a half almost at this point. And it hit me that I wanted to, like, give people some options on things that you can do even if you don't want to go into the gym. So, with that,
I gotta go work.
But no, your boss called and said you didn't have to go to work. He called earlier when you were in the shower. What had happened was they called and said that you could do this episode and then come in late.
Did they?
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta go.
I gotta go work.
She gotta go. Well, you can't blame a guy for trying, can you? I want to bring some heat. I want to bring some useful information, maybe some motivation to those that need it, because it seems like there are a lot of people out there who are kind of struggling. It seems like COVID and the quarantines and the pandemic and the lockdowns and the do you wear a mask, do you not wear a mask, do you get the vaccine, do you not get the vaccine, all of this is just wearing us out, right? And that's just the COVID side of things, let alone all the politics and the news. It's just everything seems kind of crazy right now for just everybody, because there's just a lot of negativity out there right now. So, and that former, client and the friend that I saw in the parking lot, he's normally a really happy guy, and he just didn't look that happy. He looked, kind of just frustrated or sad or scared, and I felt bad. I wanted to be able to help him. I don't want people to be victims to the circumstances that they're in, right? And I think that's what really happens is a lot of people are letting the circumstances of the current day, the current era, kind of dictate their health. And when you let circumstances dictate your health, you're going to have a lot of, obviously weight gain. If you're used to going to the gym and you're not going to the gym anymore, you're going to get that weight gain that comes with it. And along with weight gain, generally comes depression. And along with depression, generally kind of comes a feeling of like, I feel stuck. So I want to help people get out of that, because the circumstances shouldn't dictate what your health looks like, what your quality of life looks like. There's always a way to move forward in all of this. So I mentioned that one of the things I want to do with this is provide motivation. And motivation, I've said this in past videos and in past episodes, that motivation is fleeting, right? It doesn't last. And there are all kinds of ways to get motivation on the internet. You can find, YouTube videos of like condensed quotes with like people lifting weights and grunting and fire in the background and all that. And those are great. Like, hell, I listen to some of them. They get me fired up. And that's part of what I'm recording this episode for, is to hopefully give some people motivation. But more to the point, like, where does motivation come from? I'm a big believer that motivation comes from momentum. And what I mean by that is, if you start moving, if you just go, if you just begin, you'll get momentum, right? You can't gather momentum, again, if you're depressed and stuck. And that's, again, coming from someone who 20s and 30s, like, depression was a major thing. It wasn't until I figured out, just start. It doesn't have to be perfect, just start. And I'm someone who overanalyzes, who overthinks things, and I will toss things around in my head over and over and over a dozen times before I give it any attempt, because I want it to be perfect. And it's like, that's the way to stay in depression and anxiety. So you have to just start, right? Motivation comes from momentum. Simply start. Whether your gym requires you to wear a mask or not, or to be vaccinated or not, and again, that's all going to kind of depend on the state that you're in, the city that you're in, right? Or even like the gym owners, basically. It is the situation that we're in right now. It's the circumstances that we're living in. But you can't let those circumstances dictate your health, your everyday actions, right? They're going to affect things, but that doesn't mean you can't. If you're going forward and you hit a brick wall, it doesn't mean you can't climb over the wall, go around the wall, dig under the wall, right? Maybe drive through the wall, whatever it ends up being. But here's the thing, like, there's no end in sight right now to any of this. There's no end in sight. Like, we're not saying like, hey, we're going to stop wearing masks at this date, or we're going to have everybody vaccinated at this date, or it's all just going to magically disappear by Christmas. Like, maybe Santa Claus will bring the end of COVID. We don't know. None of that stuff is certain. So, like, this is the reality that we're in right now. But there are a lot of people who don't have gyms anymore. Maybe they've let the gym membership lapse. Maybe they're still paying the membership and they're just working out at home. And those are the people that I want to talk to, are the ones that are not going to gyms. And most people listening to this probably don't have a home gym. So, but do you have any equipment at all, right? I hear a lot of people say like, well, I've got a couple pairs of dumbbells, or I've got a stability ball, or I've got a medicine ball, or whatever. I just don't ever use it. If you have any of that equipment, the only thing that's stopping you is because you want it to be like, maybe a full-fledged workout, or you don't have that motivation. If you don't have that motivation, we just talked about that, start. It doesn't have to be something perfect, right? You don't have to do the perfect workout, right? Like, if you can go to Walmart and get, some pastel 3-pound dumbbells. And yes, Holly and I use these for certain things, right? Or if you don't have something smaller like that, you want to grab these. Like I got these used at a gym. I think these are supposed to be 8 pounds, but everything like they have fallen off. But you can get on Facebook Marketplace or eBay or whatever. There's a lot of different ways to find used equipment at a really cheap price. By now, most of the places like Walmart and Target and things like that, you can get weights, but good Lord, like it doesn't have to be a full-fledged workout. If you don't have the energy or the motivation to do a full-fledged workout, sit on your couch and watch television with a dumbbell in your hand, and as the commercials are going, every time the commercials come on, right? Or maybe you have Netflix and you don't have commercials on it. Whatever it is, set a timer. But just sit there and just do shoulder. It's something, right? Just move and start. And by starting, you'll gain that momentum, right? You can do shoulder presses. You can sit there on the side of the couch and do bicep curls. Whatever it is, it doesn't have to be perfect. You can even, this is another thing I talk to people about, is like just take this weight, take one weight, whatever it is, a 5 pound, 8 pound, 10, 12, whatever you've got, and just go for a walk. Walk with one weight, right? Because that one weight is going to kind of set you off center, so you have to get that opposite side core work, and all you're doing is walking. Or if you want to walk around your community and do shoulder presses as you walk. If you feel like a weirdo with that, then don't take the weight with you and just walk. Go outside and get some sunlight. Some daylight will do you a lot of good. I work from home. As you saw, my wife has to leave. I'm here. I'm at home. So I train clients here. I do my phone calls here. I do my consulting work here. But you better believe I get outside and get some sunlight every single day to just keep my mood good, because sunlight does wonders for the body. Maybe you want to do a lower body workout. Maybe you want to get like some squats in or some lunges, or maybe you just want to strengthen your legs and you don't have a squat rack like we've got. You want to see a real simple way to work your legs? Look, I'll scoot this back so you can see my short shorts. Here's a great way to work your legs. Stand up, sit down. Stand up, sit down. Just do air squats, right? Sit to the couch. If you want to, again, take that weight, hold that weight close, keep it on your chest. Stand up, sit down. Stand up, sit down, right? So, and if you're unsure of like what to do, you need guidance for that. Start with do 200 air squats as quickly as you can. And whether that's 10 minutes or an hour, you're doing something, right? If you do 10 of those and your legs burn, then maybe do 100 of them total and spread it out over the course of 30 minutes. If you can do 20 or 30 of those before the legs burn, then try and do 200 or 300 and try to get it again. 20, 30 minutes. Try and knock it out. Your heart rate will get up. You will feel a burn in your legs. You will burn calories and you'll be like, I did something today. You'll check it off. If you get tired of doing squats, do lunges. There's all kinds of different ways to work your lower body, just like there is to do upper body. Speaking of upper body, do you have a floor? If you don't have equipment, right? If you have a floor in your home, you can do push-ups. And if you can't do like feet and hands push-ups, you can do knees and hands push-ups. And if you can't do those, then do you have a wall? You can put your hands on the wall, angle your body back, and do push-ups against the wall. Right? Whatever it's got to be, but just do something. Again, if you have that floor, you can work your midsection. You can lay on that floor and do crunches till you get a little bit of a burn. You can do planks until you get a bit of a burn. You can even work your lower body on the floor by doing glute bridges, just pushing your hips up and down to the ceiling and get your butt working, right? All of these, none of this takes equipment, and all of these can be done with literally a floor and your body. All you have to do is start. And again, if you need guidance, if you're unsure of what to do, how many reps, how many sets, how long should I rest, what's my form look like, if you need guidance, if you need accountability, hire a trainer. There are trainers if you're going to a gym. Clearly that gym probably has trainers, but there are trainers who will travel to you. One of the benefits of the quarantine is that a lot of trainers now are doing online programming, right? So they'll work with you, and that looks like a number of different ways. Some people do Zoom classes. I worked with a client in Houston who she did Zoom Pilates sessions. There are people who will do programs for you. Like one of the things that we do, if we're not, there's a number of ways we can do programs for people, but there are apps that we can use to develop programs. There are like spreadsheets that I do that have hyperlinks for the video, so you know exactly what to do, how long to do it for, how many reps, how many sets, how long do you rest. All of that is available to you, but it's not available to you if you don't start. And if you don't want to hire a coach, then look at the apps. You can get on the App Store, and I'm not even going to make any specific recommendations right now because I don't have any personal experience with any app except for the ones that we use. I think because I'm a personal trainer, Google recommends all kinds of fitness apps at me, right? So there's like There's abs apps, there's glutes apps, there's legs apps, there's chest apps, there's like Nike apps, and just you name it. There are all kinds of fitness apps out there. Some are free, some are paid, some are a mixture of both, right? Some give you some free stuff, some make you pay for the better stuff. But the thing of it is, like, just pick one and go. And it's real easy to get on there and get overwhelmed by like all of the different options. But if you just get on there, pick one and start with it, give it a couple weeks, and if you don't like it, stop it, pick up another one, try something else. Don't just say like, well, I tried one app and just, it wasn't really for me. Try something else, try something completely different, right? And again, if you don't want to work out, there's yoga apps, right? Not that yoga is not a workout. Yoga is a hell of a workout. So do a yoga app, do a bike riding app, do a couch to 5K app. Just find something that gets you moving. The things I want to point out with this is it doesn't have to be perfect. This doesn't need to be difficult. Just take a step forward each day. So let's talk nutrition. Again, with nutrition, this doesn't have to be perfect, and this doesn't need to be difficult. And actually, on the topic of nutrition, a lot of what I'm going to talk about right now, Holly and I already covered in episode number 10, and that's called the 1 candy bar a day diet, which that should pique your interest just with the title alone. Depending on when this one gets released, that one has already either been released or is coming next up. But just like I think people try to wait for the perfect workout because they don't know what to do, and they use that, like, the circumstances and the uncertainty of what to do as an excuse to not start. People say like, well, I wasn't perfectly healthy with my food, right? People want to eat a healthy diet. And I've talked about this in the past. Like, don't focus on eating healthy, just focus on eating healthier, right? It's that healthier is just one step up from what you're doing right now. It doesn't need to be perfect. But if I ask you, what's a healthy diet? Most people would say, well, probably some form of proteins and vegetables, right? Maybe lean proteins and vegetables. And of course, that's going to change. If you're a vegetarian, you're probably not going to say anything about meats. You're going to be talking mostly about vegetables. If you're doing a carnivore diet, you're probably not going to talk about vegetables. You're only going to talk about eating meats. But whether you're doing vegetarian, carnivore, keto, paleo, Mediterranean, no diet whatsoever, you just, the seafood diet, you see food, you eat it, whatever it might be, what can you do to make one step in the right direction to be healthier? Again, a lot of this, if you want to go way more in depth on all of this, listen to episode 10, the 1 candy bar a day diet. Bottom line, you cannot let your circumstances dictate your health. You have to make your health determine your circumstances, right? You can't let what we're dealing with right now in the form of a pandemic, in the form of all this uncertainty and all this unrest between everybody, you can't let that affect your well-being, right? You need to let your well-being dictate what are you capable of doing in the world. If you get to the point where you have, okay, you put on some weight, okay, well, can you stop that? Oh, I've put on some weight and I've developed type 2 diabetes. Okay, can you help manage that? Can you control that? When can you stop it? And maybe you've dug yourself in such a deep hole that you don't even know where to start. And like one of the things I told my wife the other day is like, with what we're doing here, we don't need to see the whole staircase. We just need to see the first step. And you need to take that first step. That's it. Just one thing today. That's all. Just move forward. So if you can buy that you don't want to let your circumstances determine your health, and you should let your health dictate your circumstances, what are you capable of doing, right, at any point in time, then you should realize it doesn't require perfection. It only requires you to start. It literally only requires you to step forward consistently. That consistency is king. It doesn't have to be a perfect step. Sometimes you're going to step and fall off the path. That's okay. The next day, get your ass up back on that path and take another step forward. A day that you get a 5-minute set of squats to your chair is better than a day that you spent all day in the couch not doing anything, right? A day that you come home from work and you're stressed out, but you go for a 30-minute walk in the neighborhood is better than a day that you come home from work and you drink half a bottle of wine and pass out. Bottom line, stop accepting less from yourself and demand a little bit more. You don't have to demand perfection, just demand a little bit more. You know there's something inside of you that is telling you to be a little bit better every day. Why not listen to it? Why not give it a chance? Why not see what life can be? At the end of the day, that's the only thing that separates the people that are successful in living the lives they want versus the ones that aren't, is they refuse to let their circumstances dictate what's going on. And yes, some of us have some crazy screwed up circumstances. I'm not going to discount that, right? There are some people that have some batshit circumstances stacked against them, 100%. But that doesn't mean you can't fight them. That doesn't mean that you can't figure a way out, figure it out and overcome this. I hope some part of this helped you. I hope some part of this motivated you, got you fired up, and just makes you again realize that like we all fall down. We're all human. We all make mistakes, but we can also all get up and keep going forward. Take another step forward, guys. Again, it doesn't have to be perfection. It's just got to be a step forward. That's it. Progress all day. Perfection never. That's all this right here, this jacket, right? Obviously nutrient, health, and fitness, but right there, GSD 24/7. The unfriendly, uncensored version of it is get shit done. If you want to be friendly about it, get stuff done. If you want to be even more, growth and self-development 24/7, right? Push yourself. And sometimes you can push yourself harder than others. Sometimes you want to just push yourself a little bit, right? That's it. That's fine. Sometimes our workout is a 15-minute thing. That's it. That's all we feel like doing. Other days it's an hour and a half. Do something. That's it. Do more, be more. That's all I got, guys. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I hope something in this episode hit you. I hope it motivated you. If anything in this struck a chord with you, please share it. Please subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify. Find us on YouTube. We're on Facebook and Instagram at nutrient_official. And I will see you guys on the next episode. And I promise to have Holly back with me so you have something way prettier to look at than my ugly mug. I love you all. Have an awesome day. Go be awesome. Go kick some ass. Later, guys.